Hey, welcome to Dating Advice for Men Who Love Women. In this presentation, I'm going to give you one simple tip that will make you more charming with women. So we're going to start off by talking about what that tip is, and then we're going to talk about why it works, and then I'm going to give you a few examples of how to apply it, and I'm going to give you some ways that you can apply it in your first conversation with a woman, on your first or second date, and also one that you can apply even if you're already in a relationship with a woman. So what is this simple tip that makes you more charming and attractive when you're talking to a woman? Well, it's just blame your attraction to her on her. So you're going to blame your interest in her on her. So what does that mean? Well, basically, you want to kind of pretend that you don't like that you're so attracted to her, that you're so interested in her, that it's her fault that you feel that way, that you can't really help it, and that she kind of almost has magical powers that she's using against you, and that you kind of wish that she would stop. So you're basically saying that it's her fault for being so awesome, and that's why you like her so much, and you're not really all that happy about it. So you want to blame your attraction to her on her. Blame your interest in her on her. Now, why is this charming and attractive? Well, it's because there's at least three main principles of male-female dynamics and attraction and love that this follows to a T. And the first one is that it goes with pushing and pulling. You probably have heard about this concept of push-pull before, but if not, basically what it means is that when you want to date a woman, you can't just always pull her in. I like you, I like you, I like you, go out with me, what's your number, let's text 5,000 times. You can't always pull. You should also push her away sometimes. And that might sound counterintuitive, but it actually draws her closer to you because now she's coming toward you. You're giving her an opportunity to come toward you. That's actually what you're doing when you're pushing her away. And if you pull her in and push her away at the same time, that maximizes her attraction for you. And if you do it the right way over a long enough period of time, then she'll fall deeply in love with you. So this is one of the biggest keys to women is pushing and pulling. And when you kind of blame your attraction to her on her, you're pushing her away and pulling her in at the same time. Because you're saying like, I like you and I'm not necessarily happy about it. I wish you would stop using your charms on me. So it's pushing her in and pulling her away at the same time, which is attractive to women. So that's number one. And then the second reason why this works is that it's light and fun. There's a dangerous myth in our society that love, romantic love, and attraction are heavy and serious. We even call it getting serious. Well, love is actually light and fun and playful. And this is a playful, lighter way to say that you like her instead of saying, will you marry me on the first date? Or I love you so much, or you're so hot. Those are very heavy, serious kind of statements, and saying something like, hey, stop making me like you so much. That's more playful, fun, and less serious, and it's going to work better because it goes with this principle of keeping things light and playful when you're first dating a woman. And so that's the second reason why this is so effective and charming and attractive. And then the last main reason why this works, number three, is that it also releases relationship pressure. So if you're just going for hookups, this doesn't necessarily apply to you, except for you don't want to put hookup pressure on the situation either. But if you want a woman to be your girlfriend and or your wife, and you want her to have deep feelings of genuine love and respect for you, one of the biggest mistakes that men make that pushes women away, and not in a playful way like we were talking about earlier that's effective, I mean actually pushes her away where she loses attraction for you and her interest in you goes down, is putting relationship pressure into the situation or the connection with her. And this is basically when you kind of act like you're already together when you're not. It's still like the second or third date, and in your mind she's already your girlfriend when she's not yet. And you want that to happen really badly, and you put pressure on that to happen really badly, and that's the outcome that you're focusing on, and nothing else matters to you. And you're not really just relaxing and getting to know her and letting things develop naturally. You're putting pressure into the situation, wanting it so badly to become a relationship. And when you do that, it actually pushes her away and she loses attraction. And this is the opposite of that. You're taking the relationship pressure out. It's like an escape valve, release valve for that pressure. So you're saying, yeah, I like you, and I wish you would stop making me like you because I don't really like that much that I like you. Okay, so it might sound kind of silly to you, but it does release some of that relationship pressure as well, because you're not saying, I want to be with you so bad. Let's be married right now. I want you to be my girlfriend after one conversation or one date. When a woman tends to fall in love slower than you do, and it probably will take 6 to 10 dates for her to fall deeply in love with you, not 2 or 3, and definitely not after one conversation. So wherever your feelings are at after 1 or 2 dates, just think that her feelings for you, even if you do everything right, might not be at that same level for 6 or 7 or even 10 dates. And you don't want to put any pressure on that, because the more pressure you put on that, the less likely it is that she's going to come to that conclusion herself that she wants to be with you. And everything when you're dealing with a female, it's all about her interest in you, not your interest in her. And if you don't put relationship pressure into the situation, she's much more likely to actually develop those genuine feelings for you. And now she's going to want that relationship and she's going to push for it a little bit. And that's where we ultimately want to be if you want a long-term relationship. And the same thing goes if you're just going for hookups. You don't want to put pressure on that either. Of course, that's something that you want. And a lot of times she actually wants that too in the back of her mind. And you're going to facilitate that, but you're not going to put pressure on it. And so when you blame your attraction to her on her or your interest in her on her, you're also releasing that relationship or hookup pressure. And that's another main reason why it works. So these are 3 main principles of male-female dynamics. And this little simple tip is in line with all 3 of them. And that's what makes it so effective, charming, and attractive. Okay, so how to apply it? Let's go through a few examples so that you kind of know how this works. And what I want you to do is kind of notice the pattern that we're going through in these examples and then come up with some stuff that sounds more like something you would say naturally. That's going to be the most effective for you. But of course, you can use these specific phrases as well. So some examples of how to blame your attraction to her on her are, number 1, hey, stop being so awesome and making me like you. It's not fair. So you see how you're kind of saying like she's making you like her and it's not fair. You wish you would stop doing it. This is how you blame your attraction to her on her. And again, it's very charming and attractive. A second example, you know I'm trying not to like anyone right now. So please stop making me like you. And you want to try to deliver these lines kind of like you're being serious, but you don't want to like look really hard for her reaction. You just kind of deliver that line directly, and then after you deliver the line, kind of look away a little bit like you didn't even say anything. So let that kind of percolate in her mind after you say it. Okay, number 3, if you keep looking at me like that, I might have to kiss you, but I don't have to like it. So this one isn't directly blaming your attraction on her, but it's a very similar phrase, and this tends to work really well also. So you say, if you keep looking at me like that, I might have to kiss you. So you're kind of blaming the fact that you want to kiss her on her, and then you say, but I don't have to like it. You can add that in if you want. That's another pushing her away a little bit. So this is different than just saying like, hey, I want to kiss you, or let's kiss, or just go in for it. This is a verbal primer that sets up a kiss in a really fun way. So her reaction to this is going to tell you a lot. And again, it's pulling her in and pushing her away at the same time. So this is another one that can be very effective for you. And then number 4, look, I know what you're trying to do, and it's not going to work. I'm not that easy. So you're basically accusing her of trying to tempt you or seduce you or attract you. And you're like, ha, it's not going to work. I know all of your charms. I know what you're trying to do, and it's not going to work on me. I'm not that easy. This is just playfully pushing her away. And in some situations, this is better. In some situations, maybe you can do a little lighter one, like number 1. Totally up to you and the situation and the person that you're talking to. But it's another way to do this that can be effective. And then next, number 5, stop looking at me like that, or we might be in trouble. Now, this one is a little more spicy, and it kind of applies more of hooking up or going for a kiss at least. And so you can use this one as well to kind of make that situation easier for you too. but you're basically saying that she's trying to seduce you, and you're like, hey, stop doing that. You're not telling her to do it more. And then you're saying we might be in trouble, which means you might kiss or hook up later. And so now she knows that you're kind of interested and you're kind of saying it in a fun way, and she can kind of play back on this if she wants to. And it's more fun and light and less direct, and you're also pushing her away playfully. So this can be very effective as well. And then number 6, listen, it's not really fair what you're doing. Being so amazing and making me like you, I demand you stop immediately. So this is just like number 1 and 2, basically, but you're saying a little bit more and you're kind of being more serious. And sometimes this works better to be even more serious. Like, I demand you stop immediately. It depends on how much you want to kind of cut through and say that pushing her away part, but you can kind of feel out the situation and pick either 1 or 2 or 6, and they're all very similar. And it's a really effective thing to do in your first conversation, your first or your second date with a woman. So definitely give that a try and see how it works for you. I have a feeling it's going to make you more charming to her and more attractive. And then the last one, number 7, this one is for when she's already in love with you or you're already in a long-term relationship with her. And this is also cute. So you're bringing it up. This is something that you're bringing up later on when she already fell deeply in love with you. She already caught you. You're already together. Okay, so now she's earned a little bit more of the positive side. And so now you're saying, stop distracting me. It's not fair. You know I'm trying to work right now, and you're making it almost impossible. So this is when she's just kind of in the room when you're doing some work on your laptop, or she's kind of distracting you in a way, and you want to be cute about it. And you're basically telling her that she looks hot. You're telling her that she looks good, and you're saying it in a fun, light, and playful way. And so you're saying like, hey, stop distracting me. You know I'm trying to work right now. So you're basically saying that she's so attractive to you that if she's even in your area, you can't get your work done. You can't focus on it because of her attractiveness. So this is kind of a light, playful, fun compliment. And you can do that once you're in a relationship. And so now you know that blaming your attraction and your interest in a woman on her is attractive and charming. And you have a few ways, a few examples of how you can apply it. And the last thing that I want to say about this is just that this tool is effective, but it's a spice. Okay, this is not the main course. It's not even a side dish. This is a spice. And you want to use it sparingly. So you should not say something like this in every single conversation that you have with a woman. Like, let's say you have your first conversation with a woman and then your first 2 dates with her. You should say this 1 time in those 3 opportunities. Okay, so you shouldn't keep saying this kind of stuff over and over and over again. There are other similar things that you can say that you can use on the next date or whatever. But in terms of blaming your attraction to her on her, you want to do it every once in a while. You don't want this to become a pattern or something that she expects. This should be kind of a nice surprise. And if you're going for hookups, I would lean towards using it in your first conversation with her to kind of get that attraction ball rolling. And if you want to date a woman long term and you want her to fall deeply in love with you, then maybe you can use this on the first or second date and do it in a more kind of cute, light, fun way versus some of the other ones that were a little more kind of challenging to her. All right, so use this tool sparingly. It's just a tool that's in your back pocket from now on. Anytime you want to be a little bit more charming and attractive to a woman and kind of put things on the right track. And if you want to know all the things that you should talk about and say and ask and how you should behave in any conversation with any woman anytime, then make sure you grab our Flirting Master Program if you haven't already. So inside the Flirting Master Program, I actually go through an entire first conversation with a woman step by step and the way that I think about it. So you can transfer that knowledge directly into your own mind. And then when you're talking to a woman, you can just plug in your own unique personality into that. And then you're going to be able to have an attractive conversation with her. And if you follow the steps that we cover inside the Flirting Master Program, if a woman is attracted to you initially at all, she will be more attracted to you after she finishes talking to you than she was when she first started. So if that sounds interesting to you, go to attractandkeepher.com/FM. That's attractandkeepher.com/FM and get the Flirting Master Program right now. And if you want a woman to fall deeply in love with you, you want a girlfriend or a wife, Then make sure to get our best-selling Attract and Keep Her system if you haven't already. So inside Attract and Keep Her, what we cover is the process, step by step, of attracting a woman from the very first moment that you meet her until you've been with her for 75 years, so that she falls deeply in love with you in the first place, and then she stays deeply in love with you as long as you want to be with her. So if that's something that you want, then go to attractandkeepher.com/system. That's attractandkeepher.com/system, and grab Attract and Keep Her right now. And if you don't necessarily want a relationship right now and you're just kind of going for hookups, then go ahead and grab our Good Guy Guide if you haven't already as well. So basically, the Good Guy Guide walks you through step by step from the first moment that you see a woman that you're attracted to or you match with her in an online dating app until you have your first conversation with her, and then she's at your place or you're at her place, and how to escalate from there, and that whole process step by step so that you're both smiling still the next day. And that way, if you meet a woman that you do want to keep dating, then you can switch over to what we talk about inside the Attract and Keep Her system. And so the steps that we cover inside the Good Guy Guide are good for both you and for her if you're just going for hookups. So if that's something that you're interested in, go to datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com/GGG. That's datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com/GGG. And of course, the links to all of these guides are down in the description box below this video. And of course, lastly, we have a lot of free content for you as well. And just on this YouTube channel, we have a lot of other presentations, so make sure you go through any of those that seem interesting to you. And then we also have a lot of free articles for you and even free ebooks and video courses. And so if you want one of our awesome free ebooks or video courses, then go to datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com. That's datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com, and grab all that awesome free stuff right now. Thank you so much for checking out this presentation. I'm Jim Wolf with Dating Advice for Men Who Love Women, and I'll talk to you later.